Hey guys, what is up? It is Skullflag44 here, bringing you a commentary about my trip, my Christmas vacation trip. I don't know what gameplay you're seeing. I'm just recording this as a blank commentary. I just want to get all my thoughts out there as much as I can. I know I'm going to miss one part or a few parts of the trip because I have a few things that I want to touch on or something like that I want to I don't know rant on or something like that, and I usually end up missing one or two every commentary I do. But whatever. And I don't really know how long this is gonna go. You can probably see the time, or maybe it's part one. It's probably just one big video actually. And I'm actually recording this in ScreenFlow because iMovie, in order to make a commentary over it, you have to have gameplay to commentate over, or you have to have you use voiceover for it. And so I don't know, I didn't want to pick out gameplay for it and then have me stop and then restart on a new video or something like that. I just want to keep it, continuous flow of thoughts. So I'm just gonna kind of start at at the very beginning of our trip. So it started about a week ago on December 23rd, Friday morning, 3:45. We wake up. I had packed my bag, my actual bag that had my clothes and stuff in it, beforehand. But I had my carry-on. Well, actually, they were both carry-on. My personal, little computer bag I use. I'd had that pretty much all packed up. I just needed to throw my iPad in there, and so I did that. I threw that all in there, and we left. We left about, I think, 4:15 or so, 4:20, something like that. One of those, pretty close, pretty early though. And we drive down to this. It was like this. Usually we park at this one place where you can get points, and so the points can add up, and with the added up points, then you can get free, trips or something like that, or if you have enough points, that'll give you a 2 days without paying for your car. Because we drove over there, parked our car, and then we're good. But over the holidays, they limit the points, being given out because people will go there anyway, because there's obviously more people going to. We were using the airport during the holidays, so they just kind of cut that off. So my parents just decided to go with the cheapest one. So we were at this it was a weird little motel place, and it was kind of weird because it was half a little motel hotel thing, and then they kind of turned it into a I don't know, a car parking place or whatever for the airport. And so we got our car there, and then there's just one shuttle that takes once they have enough people, they just I think they go in the half hour or something like that. And so we get in the shuttle, whatever, go over there, and then we arrive. And I remember in the morning, we were gonna get Starbucks, but the Starbucks was way back on the other side of the airport. So I just got a bagel at this one bagel place, and it was really good. Everything bagels are the best, by the way, because they're plain bagels, except they have sesame seeds and poppy nut. Not poppy nut, poppy seeds. I don't know why I said poppy nut. And so then, it just tastes a lot better because you get more of a crunch to it. And for some reason, the bagel just tasted way better, I guess, in the morning with the cream cheese, whatever. And I also got a Gatorade because I was thirsty. I don't know, waking up at 4:15 or 3:45 is not enjoyable, as I've experienced today, where I woke up at 4 o'clock. So yeah, that was kind of sucky coming home. But anyway, so we get on our plane, and we fly on over to Palm Springs. Our plane left at 7 or so, 6:52 I think it was. And the cool thing they do now is that if they have a flight that's full or whatever, they'll let people check their bags at the gate, and then and so you don't have to pay for checking your bags, and you can just have your bags out of the way, and you get early boarding. And so I'm always if we get early boarding, we should be boarding early because you might as well take what they give you for putting your bags in the belly of the plane, which we always do because you don't really need your actual bag with the clothes on it during the plane ride, because it's not even it's just 2 hours, whatever. And so I think we should take it. And so but anyway, we got on the plane, and we took off to Palm Springs. And last time, 2 years ago, when we went to Palm Springs for Christmas, we go every 2 years, usually for Christmas, whatever. And last time it was super windy because Palm Springs is pretty windy. It's in the mid, it's a valley. It's below sea level. There's actually some cool stuff from it, like on the side of like the mountains surrounding it. You can actually see the water line because it was once filled with water, and so there's lots of cool little things like that. But yeah, other stuff I don't know. That's probably not relevant, but whatever. I am tired and I'm just rambling on because hey, that's what this commentary is about. And so last time we came in, it was super windy, and the plane was like, as we were landing, it was like a wind gust would pick it up and it would, rear back another direction. And it probably actually wasn't that bad if you were to look at it from, not actually in the plane, but, feeling it because you'd feel these bumps, whatever. And that was landed safely, and everyone did the whole clapping thing. So if everyone claps when the pilot lands it, that means it was, more serious, or more tough, I guess. But this time it was, it was a little bumpy, but it was nothing like, crazy. And so we land in, it's only like 9 o'clock when we land. And so my grandpa comes and picks us up and drives us back to his house. And so I see my grandparents, and then so we just hang out for a bit, put our stuff away, whatever. And, I don't know, just hang around, catch up a little bit. And then we, at like 11:45, went in to take a nap because, I don't know, we were just tired. So took a nap till like 3 or so. I think it was 2:45, 3. And then we got up, and my aunt and cousin were coming in, and then my uncle and other cousin were coming in later than that. So I got to see them, and that was cool. Just hang around. One of the cousins was Supernova OSX, who you guys might know, or also known as Clay Jones on Twitter. So yeah, that was pretty cool to see him and everything. I asked him how his app was going, and he said, yeah, not really all that well because he hadn't really done much with it. Whatever. Yeah, so we just hung around there, and slept. I actually slept on. They had like air mattresses for me to sleep on, or for everyone to sleep on, whatever. But I was ready to take my nap or whatever, and so I just slept on like this couch in the bedroom or whatever. And after that, I was just like, okay, I can just sleep on this again. So I just slept on that the whole time instead of having an air mattress, which gave us more space anyway. So yeah, and so the next day we got up. We threw the frisbee around that night too. I don't know. For some reason, it's really warm there. It's like 70. Well, it's like 70 now, or like 70 to 80s. And then during the summer, it's like 120. So it's like perfect weather. My grandparents, they go to Idaho in the winter. No, go to Idaho in the summer because Idaho summers are nice, and then they go to Palm Springs for the winter so they get like this constant nice weather, so they can do their golfing, whatever. And but yeah, so that next day, the day after we arrived, we went to the pool. The pool was pretty cool because it was a nice warm pool, for all the old people, because it's at like a trilogy place. I don't know if you guys have heard of those. I think it's like a retirement home. No, not a retirement home, but a retirement village of some sort, like neighborhood. Yeah, the pool was nice. The hot tub was like well, they actually have from like 10 to 3. You can bring guests in, like have your grandkids come in or whatever, because that's a common thing. And the hot tub was like 16 or over. And I'm 14, so I was like, screw this. I'm still getting the hot tub because hot tub sounds good. And I don't know. I figured if I'm taller than the average male, I can pass myself off as a 16-year-old. So I got in the hot tub, and no one said anything or anything. I don't know what they would have done, or there's no like lifeguards there or something. But yeah, so we got in the hot tub pool. That was all fun stuff. Came back. I was ready to watch the Seahawks game because the Seahawks were playing the 49ers for a potential playoff spot. And so as we were walking back, we saw my other cousins who came in, and they drove from Sacramento area down, which I think it was like a 10-hour drive, which is pretty crazy. A long drive. And they left at like 4, and they got there at like 1. Well, like 3, and they got there at 1. Something like that. I don't really know, but they left early too. And so we saw them, but they were trying to come to the pool, but then they realized, we were coming back, and, I was ready to go see the game. So I was going back anyway. So they just decided to come back too. And so we turned on the game, the Seahawks 49ers game, and it was a close game at first. Seahawks scored. Doug Baldwin got a nice run at the end zone. He, kind of stuck it to John John Harbaugh, something like that. I don't know. It's Harbaugh though, and who's the 49ers coach, because he was the 49ers coach was the coach at Stanford, and Doug Baldwin was an undrafted free agent at Stanford, so he could have drafted Doug Baldwin, but he didn't, and now Doug Baldwin is a good wide receiver for the Seahawks, so that's kind of I don't know, kind of funny or whatever. And so I don't know, the game didn't turn out. They lost I forget the score. It was 19-17 maybe. I think that was it. And I don't know. It was a winnable game, but their only chance of getting the playoffs was to have the Lions lose their next two games, and the Seahawks would have to win their next two games. And the Lions were beating the Chargers 24-0 or something like that. So I mean, it was pretty much over, before the game was over. So I kind of gave up. I wanted them to win still, but whatever. If they're not going to make the playoffs, it really doesn't matter. Might as well get that playoff spot or something like that. They weren't going for that, but whatever. And so that night we just hung out because it was Christmas Eve, wasn't it? Yeah, it was. And so Christmas Eve, whatever. Just good dinner, good stuff. I think we got a big group picture that day too, and I got a few pictures. I don't know if I'm not gonna put them up in this commentary because I am too tired and too lazy to do that. But maybe some other time I can put some pictures up for you guys, because I took some pictures. Although there's other places where I should have took pictures and I didn't, but whatever. And then Christmas morning came along. I gotta check the time of this commentary. 11 minutes already, and I'm not even halfway through it. Let go. Yeah, so Christmas morning came along. That was fun. Got all cool presents. I got this video camera I have here. It's a Sony PlayTouch. I got it off One Sale a Day, or I saw it on OneSaleAday.com. I'm like, oh, I want to get this. My mom's like, oh, Christmas coming up. I'm like, oh yeah, whatever. And so my parents got this for me for Christmas. It's an HD camera. It shoots 1080. It's pretty sweet. It's got a touch screen and everything, and I just put an SD card in it, 32 gigabyte SD card from Amazon. It's pretty nice, and but before it had zero memory on it. I think I had 128 gigs, not even counting the OS on there, and so now it has 4 hours of 1080p footage. So that's sweet. So hopefully I can get some IRL cool stuff if I see some cool things, just take a video of it, whatever. And so yeah. So I also got Skyrim for Xbox, which I just finished playing. Actually recorded that too, so I don't know if you guys, I don't know when I'm posting this stuff because I have stuff still scheduled for upload. But yeah, so that was fun. I just played that, and I also got a Razer Onza controller, which you guys can look up. It's Razer and then Onza. Razer makes mice and keyboards, and they just made a controller. Actually, they made a controller a while ago, but recently, fairly recently, within the year. And yeah, so that was pretty sweet. I wanted that because it has two customizable, remappable. I should have just said remappable buttons, extra buttons, and so I have that as knife B and jump A for Xbox or for Modern Warfare 3. And so I just finished playing that, try to get used to that controller because it's gonna take a while to get used to it. And I have one control freak on the right thumbstick. I know that's what a lot of people do sometimes. And then on the left one, I just don't have anything because I don't know. The right one I can get more, or can be more accurate. And I also have that one loosened up because the cool thing about this, if you get the tournament edition, you can loosen the tightness of the thumbstick, and so it'll move easily one direction. If you tighten it one way, it'll move less easily, it'll be harder to move if you tighten it the other direction. And so I have the one on the right super loose, and the one on the left fairly loose. I mean more tight, but I don't really know what's best for them. But I don't know. I'm still trying to get used to I don't know, having it panic knifing, just automatically hitting that top or the right remappable button. I'm mixing my words. I haven't done a commentary in a while, and I am tired as wieners. So yeah. Dang, what was that? Why did I just hit the desk? Don't know. Um, but yeah, so that was cool, and I also got a ton of other cool things like gift cards and all that fun stuff. Cause I don't really want. There was nothing that I really wanted. Just gift cards, and I got everything I wanted. I couldn't ask for. I mean that's not that I couldn't ask for more, but it just that was all I wanted. So that was pretty sweet. And so yeah, so we just hung around and played with all our Christmas stuff. Unfortunately, like I didn't have my Xbox, so I couldn't really do much with that. But I also got stuff like I got like a homemade root beer kit, and so I'm gonna have to try that out. Me and my cousin, we tried to like do that, but you have to let it sit overnight, and we were hoping just to get the root beer taste because it smelled good. But like the flavor crystals, needed to be mixed with this stuff, and when they weren't mixed, let me tell you, they did not taste all that good. I experienced that firsthand. So yeah, I'm trying to think, what else did I get? I know I got a few other things. But yeah, it was just a fun time. And let's see, the next day, this was our last full day in. I know I'm missing something here, but whatever. Keep moving on. Our last full day in Palm Springs, or really our last day, because the next day we left at 4:45 I think it was. So we might as well call it the last day. We did a hike to Borrego Springs, Borrego National Park. We hiked up to a palm tree oasis, and let me tell you, if you're ever in the Palm Springs area, you know where Borrego is. Borrega, Borrega or O. Just search, that. Palm Springs, or it's like Anza Borrego, something like that, National Park. And dang, that was a ton of fun. Like, wow. But anyway, so we left at like 10 o'clock, and I woke up at like 9 o'clock, and then we were gonna have breakfast at 9:30. Like, I have this like internal scheduling. Like, if someone lays out the plan, I will get myself ready at like the perfect time, whatever. But obviously it doesn't always go the way it should. Just other people, like try to do different things and whatever. So, but anyway, it all worked out. And so we left at 10, and or we left at like 10:15 when we actually started driving. But there was like this big problem because the something got messed up, and the GPS like was not coordinated right. And let's see, I'm getting some subscription and comments on my YouTube channel. And but yeah, so we got there. I'm just gotta stay focused here. I gotta I don't know. I'm kind of just losing sanity minute by minute. But anyway, so we got to Borrego Springs. Oh yeah, and there was a problem. It took us like way longer than it should have to get there. But anyway, once we got there, we did like this short little nature walk around the area just while we were waiting for everyone to get ready. There was also like these rails at like the it was at the what is it, the little restroom area, and so you could hop on there, do some pull-ups on the rails, whatever, and so that was fun. And so we did like this little nature walk around the area just to see some like flowers or whatever, and then we actually started the real hike. But we decided that you could drive down to the campgrounds where the hike actually like started, and you could park there for $8 each. But it's like, come on, like it's a mile down there, whatever. And so it started out as like just a 3-mile hike, and it turned into like a 6-mile hike it was like 1.5 miles down to the actual place, and then that started the hike. And so so once we got down there, the beginning part was just walking on like walked on like it was like a little sidewalk area, but in the middle of like the desert pretty much. And yeah, so it wasn't too interesting, but you'd see some cool stuff, I guess. And then once we actually started the real hike area, that was sweet because there's tons of like rocks and stuff. So I had a great time just jumping on these rocks, trying to stay on these rocks, whatever. And then once we got over, so we kept going up there. My cousin Kyle's like this rock climber dude, and he would scale like these mountains, and then he'd come back down or whatever. And yeah, so there's all sorts of cool stuff. But then we were hiking for a while, just jumping around, having a good old time. And once we could finally like see the palm tree oasis, because we weren't really sure what this thing was going to be like. Like, is it going to be like one palm tree, out there? or whatnot. And it was actually a palm tree oasis. Like, you can definitely call that a palm tree oasis. Like, you're not cheating it out of anyone, I don't think. And so once we got there and everything, or once we saw it, we got in the shade. And once we got in the shade, it was a lot better because it was getting pretty hot. Like, the funny thing about deserts, I don't know, I'm sure you guys know this, but like at night they're really cold and in the day they're really hot. And so it was like 29 that morning, but it got like super hot. I don't know, it actually wasn't all that hot outside, but the sun beat down on your back and it was just like probably it felt like it was 80 degrees or so, which to me, like 80 degrees, whoa-wee, like Washington boy, the 80 degrees is pretty hot. So anyway, so once we got in the shadow, what? Is it the shadow area? Just the cooler area. We kind of just ran up there because there was this other group behind us, and I'm like, we need to get to that palm tree oasis because we're gonna have a picnic there or whatever, and like we need to get there first because we would need to clean the area. So I ran up ahead, and I didn't really realize what it was gonna be like. So I don't know. There was like this creek running down the middle from like the palm tree area down through like we were kind of in like this valley of some sort, and there's this creek, and so it was more like I don't even know if the creek is a proper term. Some people call it a crick. I don't get that, but I need to learn my creek, river, and stream properties so I can properly define what that was. But whatever. And so I ran down there, and there was like this little waterfall area, and so it was just a cool area to explore. I don't know, I can't really describe it, all that much, but it was like beautiful area. I wish I had my video camera with me because I could have done some pretty cool stuff, or at least a camera, because there's some pretty epic shots to take, with the camera, not like basketball or guns or anything like that. But yeah, so once we actually got to first of all, I got to the palm tree oasis, and my grandma's like, I don't know actually how old is she, but she's like 75 or whatever. And so this was like a 6-mile hike. Both my grandparents are pretty fit though, so it wasn't as big a deal as it might be for some people. But it's still tough. So they were ready to like stop right before the palm tree oasis, and I'm like, oh come on, like you had to cross this like little creek, like it was, it was. Your foot might slip and get wet, but that was the worst that could happen. So I convinced everyone to come over and actually get in the palm tree oasis area, and so finally everyone came over because I was just like, do we really come down it took us like 6 hours to actually get here, and we were gonna just stand outside the area? It's like there's one thing that can annoy me, it'd be that. So we all came up there, we got our lunch out, whatever, and then once I finished lunch, I just did a little more exploring around the area with the cousins and stuff, and we headed back. Heading back was awesome because it was like cool the whole time because it was like the sun was starting to set as we were coming back, so that was cool because you could see you could see the sun ahead. We finally reached the sun at the very end as we were walking back. And there was this whole issue where the car was somewhere else, and then anyway, we got back and we just settled in, had some dinner at home, and just kind of hung out for that last day. And then my one set of cousins was leaving with the Supernova OSX set, so you'd call them, was leaving at they were leaving at 4:15 or something like that. We were leaving at 4:45. And so, we went to bed and, saw them or whatever. And so we left. And then my grandpa took us to the airport at 4:45. And we got on our plane. The Palm Springs airport is pretty sweet if you've never been there. It's like a normal airport, it has a little security area. But then once you get past security, you get into this area. And it has it's like a small little terminal with, there's not many planes coming in because it's smaller airport, but it's outside, and so it's not completely closed in because it's nice weather there. So I just found that kind of cool. In the actual where you board to your plane, it was inside, but there's a little walkway outside. But anyway, so we got on the plane and flew down to San Francisco Airport, to Half Moon Bay to see my other set of grandparents. And so we got our car and everything, and I don't know, it was weird. It was weird because usually, if you're leaving, you'll leave and then you go home, but we were leaving to go, we were like halfway done our trip, so I don't know, it was just like kind of a weird feeling. So yeah, so we got there, we saw my grandparents and stuff, and that was cool. We got settled in at their house. I get to stay in this awesome bed. It is so freaking cool because it is like this huge bed with like tons of pillows on it. Like their whole house has like pillows, or not like pillows on like the side of the walls or something like that, but just like on the beds and couches and chairs, whatever. And but there's like 5 layers on this bed, and it is the most comfortable thing ever. And by the end of I would lose like one like cover or sheet or like blanket per night. Like for some reason I would just like, it would get, I don't know, I tend to like kick a lot, I guess, when I'm sleeping, just to like adjust to get maximum comfort. And so I guess I would just like kick it off, and then it could never like get it adjusted right, so I just throw it aside. And by the end I was like down to 2 blankets, but I was still fine, whatever. And so that was super comfortable. And then we saw my cousins, my other set of cousins, who are my like officially step cousins, but whatever. Because my grandma, who got me my computer and everything like that, who lives up here and is all Apple. Actually, by everyone's Apple, I guess, but who's all Apple and everything. She was married. That's my dad's mom, and then she was married to my grandpa, who we visited in Half Moon Bay, and then they divorced and remarried, 2 different people. And so that's when we saw them. And so my grandpa's new wife, my grandma, that's all I've known. So it doesn't really change much for me. Her son married and has 2 kids. And so so that was kind of cool to see them, because we'd seen them for a while, and they're always fun because they're, little cousins, and, I haven't had too many little cousins in a while, where, I could actually, from this age, it's always been growing up together or whatever. So that's fun because they have a 6-year-old and a 2-year-old, and so that was cool seeing them. And then that next day we slept, whatever, had a good time. And the next day we went out and took our rental car, whatever, and just kind of drove around the city. We got In-N-Out Burger, which I was actually disappointed, because In-N-Out Burger, I remember it being great. And, it's like California, Arizona, Utah, maybe like Nevada, I think, like only. And so it's not up here, so, everyone's like, oh, In-N-Out Burger's so good, whatever. And I was disappointed because they put like this relish sauce on it. And it's like the burger and bun, that was solid. And, I can, if I don't want like the lettuce and tomatoes, I can take that off. But when you put the sauce on, like, that can ruin the whole thing, because you can't take that off because it's already like, contaminated, whatever. And so it's not like it was bad, like I ate the whole thing, whatever, but it was just not as good as I thought it could be. And I think I would have been happier with a Burger King burger, which is unfortunate because it was like so close to being really good, but it just didn't hit that for me, so, whatever. But anyway, we also went to see the YouTube headquarters, because I thought YouTube's located in San Bruno, and I was like, hey, that'd be cool to see. Maybe I could get in, with my YouTube partnership, Hey, you never know. And so we went over there, we saw the YouTube sign, took some pictures in front of that, and then we went up to try to get into the lobby, see if we can look around, but the lobby, it's like locked, and then you have to call in until why you're there or whatever. And there's just this guy just looking at us like this, we were just kind of looking there, so it was like awkward. And didn't want to call in because I don't know what you're gonna say, like, yeah, I'm a YouTube partner, I'm 14 years old, whatever, do you mind if I come and check out your office? Like, I guess that would have been alright, but whatever, didn't really need to do that. So yeah, that was that, so we just kind of left that, got our pictures, whatever. Actually, I have I recorded a short video with my iPod, since I couldn't, my video camera was like stuck, because without a SIM card, I couldn't like delete the video off that and just record in like a low resolution. I had to, or just got like, it said like internal memory's full, and then it just, was stuck there until I put a SIM card in. But yeah, so we saw YouTube headquarters, and I got like a video with my iPod of me pointing out the YouTube headquarters, and on YouTube money. So I don't know if I'll ever post that. And yeah, I don't know if you guys saw the shower video I posted on my SkullFlag22 account. I tweeted that out. I would definitely recommend you guys check that out because I show this shower at my grandparents' house, and oh my gosh, this is the most epic shower I have ever seen or been in. Obviously real life, but I think even in like magazines and stuff, or whatever, because this is like a legit shower. Let me tell you, except like 8 nozzles, and it was just, oh man, it was great. So that was pretty cool. But anyway, so after we went to the YouTube headquarters, we went to Target, and we went to like a Lululemon store for my sister and whatever. And then we came back, we got some pizza, and then hung out with the cousins again, and that was pretty much that. And then the next day, my other set of cousins came over. Was that yesterday? Yeah, that was. That's crazy. No, actually, it's not really crazy. Like it still feels like it's yesterday. But I took a nap. About I woke up like 5 hours ago, whatever. And that always just disorientates me so much because I don't know, just like it's just weird. But yeah, that was cool seeing them. They brought their little puppy Teddy over, and I also tried watching the UW Baylor game. UW lost to Baylor 56-67, which is ridiculous because how do you score 56 points and lose a game? Like, really? So hopefully Nick Holt gets fired. And I wish him the best, but like his style of defense just does not work. Like the bend it but not break. Like we'll let up points, but we won't let up more points than them. Like why can't you just not let up points at all? Like how can other defenses be way better and your offense is good, but your defense is horrible? And it can't be the players. I'm sure of that because they're good enough to not allow 67 points. I mean Baylor's offense is good, but 67 points. If you're Gosh, that's ridiculous. If you're, in a bowl game, you shouldn't allow 67 points. But I ranted on that on Twitter for a while. But that day we went down to Mavericks, just like a surfing place with like these huge waves, and couldn't really see them because like it was foggy and stuff. But we also went to like the surf shop, whatever. And then we came back, and my cousin 2 years ago or 4 years ago, something like that, we went and got golf balls from the pond because both my grandparents live on a set of grandparents live on a golf course that we visited, and so my grandpa has like this little pond across his house, and so last time we got like all this golf balls from that pond, and so this time we tried to do the same, but there wasn't as much because I guess they cleaned it out or something, and you couldn't really see them, so you just had to kind of stick your hand in there and then feel along the rim of the pond. And I got like 30 or so maybe, which is maybe 20. It was a pretty good haul. We just left them there because I didn't really have room in my bag or anything. What am I going to do with golf balls? But yeah, that was cool. And then we went over to the Ritz-Carlton, which is like, Francais, hotel because it's a pretty fancy place. And also Eric Burns lives in my grandpa's neighborhood. If you don't know Eric Burns, he was a major league baseball player. He retired 2 years ago, 1 year ago, something like that. He played for the Mariners, the Diamondbacks. Mariners most recently, I think. Or most recently, like actually playing. I don't know if he tried out for another team. I think he still does like softball leagues or something like that. Whatever. But he lives there. And then we went over to the Ritz-Carlton area hotel and got dinner there. And there was like this, and so I like checked up on the game, UW game, because I wanted to watch it, but I'm not gonna, like, it's Ritz-Carlton hotel, you gotta stay for that. So I would peek in at the score of the game, watch a little bit, and but anyway, so they had like this jazz singer there, and there was like this big like burger. It was like the dinner night was like burgers, beer, and jazz, and so we had Tony as our waiter, and Tony told us that there were. My sister just wanted like half, just a small like Caesar salad or whatever, and so she asked for like a half order of Caesar salad, and he's like, oh no, there's no half orders here. Like it was like just a silly question to ask, and so we laughed at that for a while. I was sitting with my cousins and my sister, and yeah, so But I was checking up on the game, and whatever. We were just having a good time, and I got my dad's phone to look. He has an iPhone to look up the score of the game, so I wouldn't run up there, so I could just keep talking with everyone. But this lady before came up, and she's like this black, like middle-aged black lady. It's pretty big with like these big flabby arms, so it was just like not so nice. But we were sitting in like this right little like jazz circle area where like they were playing, and then we were the tables around it, whatever. And oh my gosh, like she would like blindside us, like me and my cousin, and like there was no way we could like avoid it or anything. It was just kind of there, because she would come up behind us and we couldn't like look at her or intimidate her or whatever. And so like one time she came up and like rubbed our heads and said like, oh yeah, you should like blah 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 blah, sing her song, and the whole crowd was like loving it. And so then my cousin went to get the marshmallows, because we were gonna roast marshmallows out of like the fire down there. And she came up to me, and I was checking the game, score of the game. She's like, I'm a teacher. I'm a part-time teacher. Like half the time I teach, and I love taking away kids' cell phones or when they should be paying attention. And like I hate to see someone miss out on this beautiful jazz or something like that. And I'm like, okay, like, haha. I turned, like, I put the phone off, and the whole crowd's like, oh, haha, ha ha ha. And then, and so I'm like, ha ha ha. Like, I was thinking, like, I probably wouldn't listen to it if it was actually decent, but, whatever. And, so I just kind of rolled with the joke, whatever. I didn't really have much wiggle room there. And then I was like, let's get out of here, please, because when is she going to come back and assault me again? So, we get out there, but I was just thinking, like, how good would it be if I just had, like, turned around and started dancing, pulled up an app of, like, a saxophone on my dad's iPhone, and just started playing that and just, like, totally, win, just beat her down or whatever, not actually beat her, but, mentally or whatever. So that was kind of funny. And then my sister was texting this guy, and he was telling the score of the game and stuff. And so the Huskies were like, up like 35-21. It was 35-24 in the half, and everything was going great. And eventually they lost it, whatever. It was to be expected, really. I didn't really think they had much of a shot. I knew they would have to score a ton. They did score a ton, but I didn't 67 points they lit up. Oh my gosh. But anyway, yeah, that was a fun time. Then we came back, and cousins left. We slept, went to sleep. I got like 4 hours of sleep or something like that. And then I had a nap, or we got back, and I had a nap, and I played some Xbox and some Skyrim, caught up on a few things, and now I'm here. So yeah. Oh, one other thing I did want to mention. I want to make sure not to forget this. It's kind of cool. I don't know. I should have probably fitted in with the flow of the story better, but I'll just hop back on this. So my grandpa worked at Lockheed. It's like this defense. I forget the word for it. It's like a defense, business or whatever that works for the U.S. military a lot. Or I don't know if they do now, but they did in the 1980s Cold War era. And so he worked there, and it's kind of crazy. He has things that are classified still that he cannot officially tell. And if he tells, he'll get in big trouble or whatever. But there's one thing that's been, declassified recently, because I think it's 50 years. I think I said it was 50 years, and then, after 50 years it becomes of not in use. It's declassified. I don't know if that's real. I just heard something about that. But it's the spy satellite called Hexagon. And the satellite would, spy on these places. And it was a, Google Earth, but 30 years in the future. And so he was one of the people that worked on this. He was like a rocket scientist or something like that. I don't really know. I don't really know what's going on there, but it's kind of crazy. And he said that if the Soviets ever caught you, what you were instructed to do when they asked you what the name of the spy satellite was called, you're just supposed to say "kill me," because you were pretty much giving up your life. Because if you gave them the information, you signed a thing saying that you were dying for it was sentenced. If they caught you, you were going to be sentenced to death, and you had to sign away on that. And so yeah, that's pretty crazy. And he was also on he went to Germany for this more of this defense stuff, whatever. And he was they published in the newspaper, I think. He was on a hit list, this German gang, if they found any of these guys, they would have to, or they would try to kill them, because they thought, they were messing up the German country, whatever. And there were certain like countries I don't think he could travel to because they weren't friendly with the U.S. and they would try to take him out. So it's just kind of crazy stuff. I don't know. I thought I'd throw that in there. So I hope you guys enjoyed this commentary. Let's see, 40 minutes. Lego. Wow. I thought it might be around 30, 40. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I am tired. I know I missed out on something. Hope you guys. Oh yeah, I'm also going to Wenatchee for New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, and then I'll be back on Monday. So I don't know if that's really relevant or when you guys are seeing this, but I just want to post that out because I don't know if I mean, it should be a fun time there, but it's not gonna be anything. It'll just be like a day overnight and then half that day. But whatever. So hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm out.